In this video, I'm going to be telling you about the recent pump and dump allegations made against Sorrento Pharmaceuticals. And we're going to find out whether or not they actually hold any water. And we're going to be starting right now. Hey, I'm Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If you want to learn how to grow your wealth through investing and trading in the stock market, make sure you start now by subscribing and hitting that bell so you don't miss a thing. So I know some of you are probably a little bit shook up about the drop in value of the SRNE share price. So let's take a look at why the share price dropped. We've got a short seller, Hindenburg Research. Looks like a reputable company on the surface, but when you dig deep inside, turns out it's just some dude named Nate Anderson that basically runs Hindenburg Research. So the next question you'd probably want to ask yourself is, why is Mr. Nate Anderson saying all these bad things about SRNE stock? And should I be worried? The simple answer, Mr. Nate Anderson from Hindenburg Research is a short seller. He short sells stocks. He goes out, or under the name of his company, sometimes teams up with other people like him, and they basically try to do exposés on different companies. So what exactly is he saying about SRNE? Well, first of all, he alleges securities fraud for the company's prior comments. Specifically, the comments that SRNE CEO Dr. Henry G. made on Fox News. Hindenburg claims that SRNE was nearly out of cash and facing solvency concerns ahead of its COVID-19 cure announcement. And we can see this in his statement. We believe that Sorrento's actions are manipulative at the worst possible time and simply amount to an attempt to shamelessly profiteer off the pandemic. Well, I just want to know, who in the hell is we? Is he talking about us? Because I sure as hell don't share in these beliefs with him. So I guess he's just talking about the company, Hindenburg, when he says we, which would just mean himself, Nate Anderson. Anderson also went as far as trying to claim that former employees that Hindenburg interviewed were saying bad things about SRNE. For example, here's one quote. I suggest extreme skepticism regarding any claims made by Sorrento. I would never in my life report that I had 100% cure. End quote. This supposedly came from an ex-executive that worked for SRNE, but we don't have this executive's name. So who the hell is this guy? You're just going to say you interviewed some ex-executive? You don't provide us a name? Okay. Seems real reputable there, buddy. So this little Hindenburg weasel was partly responsible for, or at the very least contributed to last week's 15% drop in the share price of SRNE stock. So what do shareholders have to say about this? I haven't had a chance to speak with all of them, but I would imagine that most of them would address Hindenburg in the following manner. Dear Mr. Hindenburg, I appreciate you shorting Sorrento shares and contributing to the drop that has allowed me to accumulate additional shares at a 50% discount from last Monday's highs. If it wasn't for your greed and stupidity, I would not be able to afford a chance to purchase more shares and open up opportunities for greater profits in the short term, which will greatly swell up my portfolio. Boom! Okay, so I'm glad to have gotten that off my chest. Anyhow, back to Hindenburg. So Hindenburg has recently shorted other COVID-19 related stocks, such as Opco Health, ticker symbol OPK, and also Co-Diagnostics, ticker symbol CODX. I actually took the time to look into Hindenburg's entire report, and I have to say that if it is all true, it would for Sorrento. I think it goes without saying that I am just a little bit skeptical about all the crap that Hindenburg Research has put in their report. However, I will still go over everything in that report with you guys, but it is a lengthy report and requires its own video, so that is coming. But what I want you guys to keep in mind before you let Hindenburg scare you into selling your SRNE position, you should know that Hindenburg always goes short on companies, and from what I've been able to dig up, Hindenburg's success rate is only about 55%. So don't sweat it yet, you guys. Additionally, after reviewing a few other claims where Hindenburg's claims caused a drop in share price, it seems that there may be a pattern of Hindenburg making claims with no basis. For example, back in March of 2020, Hindenburg went after a Canadian company called Pharmacello, who afterwards released audit results proving that Hindenburg's claims were both careless and wholly inaccurate claims. What's funny is that Pharmacello, after busting Hindenburg out, actually invited Hindenburg to inspect their facilities, but never got an answer. Needless to say, Hindenburg will probably be facing legal liability for making these allegations. But it turns out that Hindenburg Research, or Nate Anderson from Hindenburg Research and pals, are no strangers when it comes to lawsuits and facing legal liabilities. So, as I said before, nothing to worry about yet. There is always a clown or two that's willing to put out bad information about a company trying to take it down because they're short the company. So, what I want from you guys is to always do your own diligence. And as I said before, I will be releasing a video going over Hindenburg's claims against Sorrento Therapeutics, along with my take on these claims. This will be a long video, and there is a lot of information to cover. But for now, I want to focus on the positives of Sorrento Therapeutics, and have merely brought this up because I just wanted to mention that this exists and explain the drop in share value to those that were not aware of why the share value dropped. And we're going to wrap this up by looking at the latest statements from Dr. G, which is Sorrento's CEO and founder. So first of all, Dr. Henry G is defending Sorrento against these claims. He says, and I quote, "There is a lot of investors suspecting this is another pump and dump, which is typical, which is normal, but we don't believe that's the case." End quote. G seems unfazed by the volatility in the stock price and instead says that he and his team are focused on getting a COVID-19 treatment to market. To quote him on this, he says, "What we are focusing on, instead of watching the stock going up or going down, we are focusing on making sure we have the real deal. So you have the antibody that can prevent the virus from infecting healthy cells. That means you will have a real product. If you have a real product, eventually the stock will be reflecting the assets you have. And we believe right now, probably there is a lot of investors excited about the story." Quote. I don't think I could have said that better myself. I don't know about you guys, but hearing from Dr. G about this makes me feel a lot better. So thank you, Dr. G. Alright guys, I think that does it for me and wraps up today's video on Sorrento Therapeutics. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do that so you never miss a video. Also, if you found this information useful, make sure you smash that like button for me because it helps the channel. And if you haven't seen my previous video on SRNE, make sure you click on it now. It should be popping up on your screen. So again, thank you guys for watching the video. Thanks for sticking with me till the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.